Looking at number 5. Let's factor this one. It would factor into x minus 2, x minus 5. So we're continuing with the idea of how do we factor things. So as you look at it, what do you need to multiply the x minus 2 to get rid of it? So you know you're going to be multiplying by an x minus 2. It'll get rid of this denominator. Now you have to do it here. Now you have to do it here. So if you look at this problem, you'll get rid of the first denominator, you'll get rid of the last, and you'll get rid of part of this middle one, right? So what else do we need to multiply by?
X minus 5.
You still have to get rid of that x minus 5. So you're still going to need to do x minus 5, x minus 5, and x minus 5. So when you get ready to start crossing things off, x minus 2, x minus 2. Everything here, and x minus 2, and x minus 2. So what's 1 times x minus 5? Everything got crossed off here except the 1 on top. And then be careful here, you have a 4. So it's going to multiply the x and the negative 5. So you distribute the 4. So that's 4x minus 20. I'm going to pause it, let you solve it, and then we'll look at the answer. All right. So combine some like terms. This is x minus 4. Just combining the negative 5 and the 1. So if I move the 4x over, I would have to subtract 4x. Yep. You can move it the other way if you want to keep it positive. I'm going to add 4 at the same time. So what I end up with is negative 3x. That's gone. That's gone. And negative 20 plus 4 is negative 16. Divide by negative 3. X is 16 thirds. I think what I'd like to do with the rest of the problems is give you guys time to go to 6, 7, and 8, and right above each term, put what you're going to multiply by. So I want to give you a chance to kind of, factor the quadratics. What do I have to multiply by to wipe out all the denominators? Just give you a minute or two to do that, and then make sure we're all on the same page. What are we multiplying by? And then give you a chance to work on solving them, and then we'll put the answers up there. Okay? So we're going to take a minute or two here. What do you have to multiply by in 6, 7, and 8, which are least common multiple, if you will, to wipe out the denominators? Work on that now.
Oh, hurry up.
In number 6, this first one is x plus 1. So now you have all your denominators factored, and you should be able to look to see what do we have to multiply to wipe it out. So in this first one, I'm going to have to multiply by x plus 1 to get rid of it. Now some teachers don't write this. They'll just do x plus 1 off to the side so that it goes all the way across. Well, we're not going to do that. I tend to write them above each individual term. It's a little bit easier to keep track of. So I have to multiply every term by that x plus 1. So in the very first term, get rid of everything, right? In the second term, get rid of the x plus 1. In the third term, get rid of the x. Then step back and look. Did you get rid of all of your denominators? Yes. So to solve this one, you're doing 1 plus x times x minus 6 equals x plus 1 times x plus 5. So I'm going to leave it there. You can finish it. Just now, some of you are just sitting around waiting for us to do the work for you. So solve these three. What?
Right, you did.
Are you done with this work?
Yes.
Yes, it might factor nicely, or you might have to close your quadrant.
Why do you? I'm gonna do it. What else?
So if you look at number 6, I put the red stuff above it. That's where I left you. We did all the crossing off, and we had this. You distribute the x, you multiply, FOIL, box method, that out. There's an x squared on both sides, you get rid of it. Move the x's to one side, move everything else, and you're going to get x is negative 1/3. If you did not get x is negative 1/3,
You did it wrong.
write the red stuff down on another piece of paper and do it again to make sure you can get negative 1/3.
You can't tell me 6.
On the last two, I copied the red stuff over, I copied the purple stuff, so that's where I left you. So number 7. After all the multiplying and distributing, you're gonna have 6x squared. Anytime you have a 6x squared in the problem, you're thinking quadratic. So get the quadratic set equal to 0. Some of you might have found the factoring for it. I doubt it. Many of you probably just jumped right to the quadratic formula. And you're gonna get 2 and 1.5 for your answers. We always wanna make sure we're taking these answers and plugging them back in. Because a lot of times, you know, what if I get a 3 or a 5? It's gonna make one of the denominators 0. And you can never have a denominator of 0. So always go back, check your answers. And then on the last one, the purple, multiply everything out. Again, you're in quadratic mode. Most of you will go to the quadratic formula. Square root of 17 is not a nice number, so we're just leaving it here. If you go to the decimal, that's fine also. Go to the decimal.